Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Zara and we are today is the last episode of this season, and this episode is all about caring the parents and siblings if they are have special needs. And let's start with talking with Sister Shanaz, where she will tell us how does it impact while finding a good possible match for a people who are having some responsibilities onto them.
Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners, sisters, brothers, viewers, everyone. Alhamdulillah, as we all know that within our community, the topic of marriage is a very big topic and it impacts the whole family. Now, the whole family is impacted in many ways. In just that one, people usually think that you get married and you go away and that's it. That's it, that you're doing your thing and your family's left behind to fend for themselves. Now, what I find, especially of people of my own age who were at one stage young enough to be getting married for the first time and then having children and then moving on with life sort of like flowingly as we usually see this flow. And all of a sudden a parent becomes ill and your emotions kick in, and of course your parents, we do feel that they are our responsibility, and alhamdulillah we majority of the time we do look after them. But what I find is that certain siblings, a brother or a sister, normally a sister, a daughter, she will be the carer for the parents, she will be the carer for the mother, and everybody else will carry on with their life as per normal, and it'll be her responsibility to look after the parent. And everybody else will carry on, maybe because they're married and they're in different in another home, or they're boys and they are working, they may be working away, or they're just not able to look after the parent. So this one young lady, this daughter, this sister, she is at home looking after her parents. Now, the illness isn't sort of like a couple of weeks, it lasts quite some time. And what they will do is they will put the marriage of this sister on the back burner. They will say, oh, we're not looking at the moment because we've got too much to deal with. Our daughter is looking after us, and we don't want somebody coming into the home. The way they put it is bimari walagar, we don't want anybody coming into a home where there is an illness which is prevalent. Now, this can go on for a while. The parents, by the time they pass away, the daughter is in her 40s, in her 50s, and then she is left on her own. Now, that's not the saddest part of the story. She may be left on her own, which is fine. But then you find everyone else wants a cut of what the parents have left. And they believe that because she is like, oh, well, you had an easy life, you lived with your parents, you don't need any of this. We had, so obviously this is people of my own age, but we had an event, our very first event, and we had two young girls come with their mum. One was 26 and one was 30. So the one who was 26, they were looking for a rishta for her, but they weren't looking for the one who was 30. So I asked them, I said, why are you not looking for your other daughter, the one that's 30? And the daughter, the mother, they had all sat down and decided, because the mother was a single parent, somebody would need to stay with the daughter, with the mother. And this eldest daughter, she had decided that it would be her. And the younger sisters, they would get married, they would move out, and she would stay with her mum and look after her. Mum was, alhamdulillah, perfectly capable. She was, a very beautiful young lady who was probably, I think she worked. She had a normal lifestyle. So she didn't need looking after in a way where an ill person would be needing to be looked after. So after having spoken to them, I recommended to the sister, I said, well, because your mum at the moment, she can look after herself, I would recommend that all of you girls get married, all three of them. And, your mum can come and stay with you. She can stay in her own home. Time will go past. You will have children. Those children will grow up and your mum will have more people to look after her. when she hits that stage in life. Because a lot of the time we think people need looking after when they don't need looking after. For
Yeah,
instance, someone my age, for your children think you're old, but you're really not. You can do things for yourself. You've got friends. You go out. You drive. You run the household. You work. You can do all these things, and your life is fulfilled. But your children seem to think, oh, you need looking after and you need care. So the parent needs to step in there and say, well, no, I don't need care. I don't need looking after. I
yeah,
want you to move on with your life. And perhaps in what, 20 years, 30 years' time, when I do need looking after,
yeah,
then even your children will be old enough to sort of like be able to look after me. So there'll be more people
yeah,
to actually look after this one person that we are concerned about and we put our lives on hold for. So it's
exactly.
very, very, I think it's mindset.
Yeah,
People have made their children's mindset as such that one person needs to be there continuously, and that person's life needs to go on a standstill until the parents, because if you're, let's say at my age, if you become ill, it's probably going to be progressive as it goes along. But
mhm.
it doesn't mean that that child cannot move on.
Yeah. And that is perfectly, and that is actually impacting the person who is carer, her or his mental health really, really badly because they become bitter, they become alone, and they are not able to have the self-care because they're being obliged. How could I say? And even though the married siblings and other people sending their own children to be for free babysitting in the name of they are going to the grandparents house, they were going to meet them, and I don't want to use the word the dump there, because that person may be happily taking care of that, but there is a limit that how much you are asking of that, it's not a big deal. Maybe the 1 day, 1 hour is not a big deal, but making it as something, feel that that person is who is there, and finding it's a cage for them. Don't make the cage for them. That
Mhm.
is the main point. They might not be say it in a because they also love you, they also care for you. Don't make it as a feeling where they are failed, that I can't do anything for myself. I'm being left to do this thing. I love to do this thing, but giving them, and then the time will pass, and that person is in the biggest trauma, because that person devoted all their life, does not make their own career, does not make their own life, does not move anywhere. And when the parents left, and they left with an empty house. And that is the bitterest point, is that when that house is empty, we all want that, that this is the inheritance. You want that inheritance, you divide that house, sell that house, and that person even does not have a place to live, and they are being shoved to any sibling's house, the box room, and live that life because they haven't built something for themselves. Why? Because the loving nature they have, because they want to care for the parent, and other people just have a blind eye about that.
That's correct, sister. Because what normally happens with this one person is that they don't go out, they don't socialize, they lose all their friendship circles,
Mm.
they lose their ability to mix within the community, they lose their place in society. They can't work, so it means that their career is put on hold. So they are sat at home, perhaps on benefits, getting carers allowance. And being on benefit actually traps a person. I know people think it's brilliant and it's a lifestyle and so on, but it actually traps a person. So this person is not only isolated, but they're trapped in the financial budgeting of the benefit system.
Yeah.
And then they don't have any friends, which means that their mental health, that they're laughing and joking, they're going out, their holidays, all of that is non-existent now. Whereas
Exactly.
the other brothers and sisters who are living in their own homes, They may come over once a week or maybe twice a week, or even if they come over every day for half an hour, they still can go away and have a life. Whereas you are there. That's it. This is your life. And
Yeah.
like you say, when the parents do pass away, and there's not going to be any, okay, now let's rebuild your life, because you do literally have to rebuild your life. It's not as simple as you can pick up where you left off, because everybody else has moved on. All your age group has moved on. All your age group is doing other things. All your friendship group are doing other things. So you now literally have to start your life brick by brick.
Exactly. And you might not have, that person might not have that much of the opportunities or
Most
even
definitely.
energies because of their mindset is also trapped.
Mhm.
They will struggle 1000% more to move and start any kind of life. I'm not saying that, nobody has to do it. That's our duty as Muslim children and the community wise. But I will say that, find a person who has a similar responsibility and you together manage that place where your parent and his parent is also be co-living or codependency or live nearby, like they have the close by houses, make an arrangement like that, this in the same street or something where you can come and go and provide all the things when it's needed, and emergencies you are needed, you are being there. So try to make a co-habitual boy's mother or parents or something, they who need the support, they are also there. Girl's parent and sibling, they are next to that house as well, where they both are available for the both sides. Don't leave the idea of not getting married. Don't leave the idea of living alone. This is my side of support, because they know that you are leaving a person very deprived in that situation.
Most definitely. What would normally, what would I would my suggestion would be to take it in turns, to have someone come and stay for a couple of days, another person for a couple of days, and another person for a couple of days. Because initially, when a calamity befalls a family, we get very emotional, especially us women. We think, no, no, I'm going to take care. I'm going to take care of everything. Now, that may be fine for a couple of weeks, but after that, you will burn out. So be realistic, sit down, have a think about it, get everybody to help out. But make sure you continue to move forward with your life, because if you do not move forward with your life, when this parent, anything happens to them, God forbid, you then will be, you basically have no support system at all. Another one of the things that I would suggest with the parents as well is that sometimes what happens is that I think they just don't like the idea of being alone. They don't want to be, oh, I'm on my own. Yes, you're on your own, but you can do things. Go out, find groups, go coffee mornings, go for lunches. Don't just grab a child or a daughter or a sister and just make her stay at home because you are alone. Because I've seen that many, many times. And then they'll say, oh, but it doesn't matter, benefits to milte hai na. Like she'll get benefits, so her needs are met. And now, if you look at the system, your benefits do not meet your needs. So they really need to be out there working, improving on their life, getting better, and moving forward. Another thing I find with this age group is that when they have been left to work with a parent or stay with a parent, they never really move forward. So people who have children, their thinking actually changes as the children get older. Your thinking changes. The children go to uni, your thinking changes again. Children get married, your thinking changes again. So your thought process is continuously changing. But this one person who is left at home with the parents, their thought process hardly changes. So even though um, they're probably in their 50s. Now, when they are looking for a partner, late 40s, 50s, and they're looking for a partner, they still want the things that you wanted at 18 because they think, oh, well, I've never had a wedding. I've never been married. That's not the point. You've never been married, but you are now 45. You are now 50. And things aren't going to be the same for you. So their thought process is they're very much stuck in their way of thinking, which is, I suppose, it's quite nice. They're probably still thinking of all the fun stuff that they would have had at their wedding when they were between 18 and 25 or whatever it is. But they still want those things. And they'll still say, well, I don't want someone that's divorced. But my dear, if he's 45, he's had a full life. How is he not going to be divorced? He's not sitting waiting for you. Or, I don't want somebody with children because they have been taught these in back in the days, we were always taught that stepchildren are, they're a nightmare. They make your life difficult. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think that actually is the case. So if they lived life, they moved forward, they knew about these relationships, they would know that nowadays the relationships are very different. Of course, you do have stepchildren, and there's lots of people with stepchildren. You'll see that some of those relationships are very, very beautiful. They're really nice. So just to turn somebody down because they have children and you don't, you've never been married and they are divorced, you're turning them down for these reasons. Again, it goes to show that mentally you are not prepared for that move forward. You still want to be where you are before the calamity in your family took place.
Yeah. And I will say that, if you are stuck in that kind of mindset and you are refusing the chances you can have, you must talk to some therapist or coach and get out of that mindset and get out of that emotionally ready stuff, because you have all the rights to be happy in your life and take all the chances which you can. And next, we are going to talk about the flip side of it when you are a controlling parent and your children are married and you're healthy, you're happy, are capable, but you want other people to take care of you. What do you think about that side of?
That's again another side that happens much later than the marriage stage. So obviously, I work mainly with the people at marriage stage, but I have worked with people who have been through that stage where they are married, they've been married for 10, 15 years, and they now want to move out. But like you say, the control element doesn't allow it. So the mother-in-law, maybe the father-in-law, they want everything to stay as it is. My house, my son, my rules. So the daughter-in-law doesn't have much say in the moving out. And the majority of the time, alhamdulillah, they have good health. They are perfectly healthy. They're probably wealthy as well. Are quite solvent, but they still want the son or maybe the sons and the daughter-in-laws to stay with them. And I've seen many people, they'll say, oh, we've had the house extended. Yeah, you've had the house extended. You want your sons to stay with you, but your daughter-in-laws may not want to stay with the other brother-in-laws who are also non-mahrams to these girls. So it's a very touchy situation. And then people will turn around and say, oh, but what do you know? तो आप लोग तो इनकी side लेते हैं, these girls, they look at, we've worked so hard to build all of this. Yes, you worked so hard to build all of this because it was your wish. It's your wish to build this for your children, but it's not the daughter-in-laws or the son, even the son-in-laws sometimes. It's not the son-in-law's wish to actually stay with the extended family. And in Islam, nuclear families are promoted, where you might have a very small space, but it's all yours. So I do find that a lot of the times we as Asians, we will extend our homes again and again, and we've got this huge, massive house. And if the child moves out, it will just be the old lady and the old man left. And then they'll be complaining that we've got this massive house and देखो कोई रहने वाला भी नहीं है. So it's quite and then emotionally they'll blackmail them. Oh, I'm all my own. I'm gonna die soon. फिर सब कुछ तुम्हारा ही है. But what you don't realize is that we're all gonna die soon. You never know. The couple, one of them could pass away. They need to enjoy their life. They need to have that balance in life. They will always love and respect you and take care of you, but they do need that time that if they have that choice of moving out, your relationship may be better. It may work out to be much better with you and them.
Exactly. That is wonderfully you put that in that, the control power and the budding relationship, even is the early marriage, you are not giving the space to your children to build the deeper relationship, learn how to manage their own budget, learn how to live in their own means. And you want to be supportive, you want to be there for your children, but you can't spoon feed always. You need to let them grow and let them learn how to live the life you learn the live the life, and this is how the cycle will run. And in that point we will talk a really really sensitive topic: the parents having a disabled child, or you have disabled siblings, which is the responsibility of the parents, or partial responsibility of yours as well, because who else will do it, or who else will love more? How, and when you are finding the rishta, or the prospect a partner for yourself, and you come to know, you say no to that kind of relationships, that we don't want to marry our daughter or our son. Like, nobody talks about that. How could our son take the responsibility of sibling of the wife's wife siblings? There's never talk about that. If there is only one person into the wife's house who is gonna be emotionally support, or maybe they have the financial support, maybe the girl is working for their parents, but she still need a relationship, a married life, and emotional support from her partner as well. So how it's going to work, how it's going to be talked about in that? Let's talk to Sashanaz about it.
Health issues are with our community. We find that we're very tunnel vision. We don't look sideways. We don't have we don't have broad viewing of things. We don't look outside of the box. What I find is that if someone has a disability, let's say it's a simple illness like diabetes. So it's a condition basically. It's
Yeah.
a controlled condition, and people live very long, healthy lives if they have this condition. But as soon as you tell someone, oh, someone's diabetic, oh, I don't want to see this person. I don't want to speak to these people. Or if someone has thalassemia, children with thalassemia live, nice long lives, but it is a condition again, like the diabetes, and it is managed. But people will say no, we don't, we're not interested. Anything over and beyond these type of things, like these are very normal day-to-day things that if you saw somebody outside, you wouldn't even know they had these conditions. But if you saw somebody and they have a condition which is much worse, let's say they had ASD or they had learning difficulties, I find that our community is very, oh well, we might end up having children like that. But it's qadar Allah that they have these children. But then what they say is, oh, but if you've got it in the family, then there's more chance of your children having these illnesses. Now, of course, I can't say to them, oh, there isn't, or there is. My role is just to put this rishta forward, and generally speaking, I don't ask about the rest of the family. How many children do you have? What are they like? Are they able? Are they special needs? I don't ask anything. When people speak to each other and meet up, that's when they normally find out, because even I don't know, so I can't tell them. But when they find out, then they'll come back and say, oh no, but we don't want to do it because of this. So it's really a very sad situation that they don't want to proceed with this. And then sometimes people will say, well, if my daughter goes into that household, this person will be, which will always be there, and my daughter will find it very uncomfortable. Or the other way around, that my son doesn't, or, son finds it hard to deal with that situation. Now, I don't know how they mean this, whether it's emotionally hard, physically hard, mentally hard. I really don't know what what it is. But I do find that people, even with, like we said earlier, with conditions that will carry on with you through your life, but they are manageable. People live fulfilled lives with them. Even those conditions are sort of like a no-go.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's be mindful, and that everything is possible if you are being resilient, if you are being willing. Just think in a way, if you've met someone outside, you fell in love, you want to be in a relationship with them, and then you come to know all about these things. Would you say no to that person? Would you just leave that person? And you anyway accept that as it is, just take it in that context. Maybe that person is really wonderful, wonderful and empathic life partner for you. Yeah, that would be my last word. Be empathic. Think about that, things happen in the life, and everybody needs someone eventually, because we are live as in a community. We don't go, our living style is different as in a Muslim. Just be mindful, be there for everyone.
And my last words would be just keep moving forward, regardless of what's happening in life. Keep moving forward, keep doing the next thing, keep doing what you want to do, and take everything in your stride. Nothing will happen to you unless it's the will of Allah. So don't take these little things to be, oh, a standstill for yourself.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier at the end of this episode, this is the end of this season of Marriage Matrix, where we talk about from the beginning how to find a, prospective life partner and what kind of difficulties you have. Keep looking forward for this place, because we are going to go beyond the marriage matrix. We are going to talk about the relationships, and we are going to talk about that how the relationships impact our personal life, our married life, and beyond, and what are the expectations are there, and how you can the common questions we talk with the Sister Shana's lived experience and the learned from the community, because she is being really active in the community, what kind of stories she heard and what kind I can suggest as a therapist or a counselor, how you can deal with the different things. Thank you very much for listening to us. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.